Hey, welcome back to Live and in the Studio, and today we're going to talk a little bit more about collaborating remotely, and specifically basic chord charts and the bass track for collaboration. Hey, so let's talk about the basics here of collaboration. And so one of the first things you want to do is create a very basic chart. So what the chart is going to give you are all the fundamentals of the song. And what you might do is, from a collaboration side, again, you're going to get together maybe in a Zoom meeting. Someone's going to have their acoustic guitar, someone's going to have their piano, their keyboard. Everyone's going to be together, and you're going to talk about the structure of the song, because you can noodle and you can throw ideas up in this Zoom call. The purpose of the chart, though, is to then capture those ideas so that you've got a structure, you've got something to work from as you move forward. So let's have a look here at this basic chart. So this chart is done in Notepad. It's probably the most basic program. And what we have are going to be some key elements. You're going to have the time signature of the song. So in this case, it's a 6/8 time signature. The tempo, which is 80 beats per minute. So the basic structure of this is by measure. So you have the upright lines are defining the measure, and then the number of beats. So we have 6 beats per measure in this case. And so if you have, let's say, 2 chords that you want in a measure, you're going to assume that there's an even distribution. It's 3 beats per each of those chords. If you only had 1 chord in that measure, then it takes up all 6 beats. Likewise, if you wanted 6 different chords in a measure, let's say a rundown of some kind, you would actually put every single chord that corresponds to that particular beat. So that's a way for you to lay that out. The way you're laying it out too is you're basically saying, okay, here's my intro, my verse, my chorus. So any elements that you've got, you define what the chords, you define how many measures it's going to be. And then what you can do at the bottom of the chart is just formalize the order. So everybody is in agreement. There's going to be an intro, there's going to be the verse, there's going to be a chorus. We're going to have a pre-chorus. We're then going to go to the chorus. We might have a solo, another verse, chorus, 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 outro. There's an example. So now you've agreed to the structure. And that's a good, again, very good way for you to create this basic chart. It's very similar to what you might see in what's called a fake book. So a fake book will have the melody in a lot of cases, and then it'll have just like this. It'll have the chords laid out, on how, where they fit within the particular measure. So you've got your chart, you've collaborated, you've got a basic understanding. So now what you're going to create is the structure or the basic track that you're going to share with other folks. So what are the key fundamentals of that track? You need a count in. So you need to have a count in at the very beginning that corresponds with the time signature and the beats per minute. And you can lay that out very easily using very basic drum software in your digital audio workstation. The other thing you're going to do then is a very basic beat that corresponds to the length. You don't want anything too elaborate. You want something very basic because you're going to go back and redo that beat again. You are going to go back and play that part over. But you want something to guide it, and you want something that's the exact length of the song. And then you're going to pick somebody, whether it's somebody who plays the guitar, somebody who's on the piano, that kind of thing, is to take that chart that you've created and you're going to lay out the structure of the song. You're going to actually physically play a nice basic set of chords. Maybe there's a melody idea already, but you're going to basically just lay out a very simple structure for other people to start playing to and adding their parts. The next component might be a very basic vocal line, but for now you just focus on an instrument line. So in this case, what I've done, we've got a basic, you'll see it on the screen here, you've got a basic count in. I've got a basic drum, which is essentially just one measure that's repeated over and over again, and I've laid out a guitar track. Now what you'll see on this guitar track is those beats at the very beginning are actually recorded into the audio. And what that is there for is, again, to realign everything. So I can take an audio track and just dump it into the next track on my DAW, and everything will line up because I've got the right tempo and I've got the right key signature, and everything will work that way. So there's the way to create a very basic guide track. We're going to keep talking about collaborating remotely, so stay tuned for future episodes as we talk about adding different instruments to your remote collaboration. This is Live in the Studio, Joe Baptista. Thanks for joining me.